Good evening and welcome to the Demolition Daily LiveStream. I'm your host, Mark Anthony, and thank God it's Friday. I've got to be honest, live streaming in this lockdown is proving harder than the first time around. Back then, lots of people were stuck at home, so guests were easy to come by. Frankly, with the benefit of hindsight, I think they were just glad of the company. This time, gladly, it seems that people are just soldiering on. So once again, you'll just have to listen to me instead. And the thing I'd like to talk about tonight is the unseen cost of a downturn. And I don't mean company failures and job losses, and I don't mean contract workload and job vacancies coming harder to come by. Obviously, all of those are bad, and they're all too real. What I want to talk about is the unseen costs, the things that no one talks about, but that could and most likely will affect us all in the future. Ironically, I'll be telling demolition professionals what they should cut and what they shouldn't. And we'll be right back after I've finally played the intro. Many of us have been here before. We know the score. We don't have the answers, but experience tells us how a slowing in workload will play out. We're likely to lose some demolition firms. Some may have been sailing close to the financial wind and are just unable to navigate an economic storm. Some will be highly geared, indebted to finance companies for things like equipment and vehicles purchased in good faith when the going was good. Some will just struggle to find sufficient work as clients sit on their hands, or as work is stolen by rival companies willing to undercut just to keep their own wheels turning. Then come the job cuts. Faced with insufficient work and fixed financial outgoings, the workforce is often seen as expendable, the easiest thing to cut in order to retract and reduce costs. We know all of that. Many of us have seen it several times over. It's as predictable as it is regrettable. But there are unseen costs to a downturn or a full-blown recession. Costs that are rarely spoken about. Costs that are cut today, but that could have a negative impact in months or even years from today. The most obvious of these seemingly sensible cuts is training. We all know that demolition training is expensive, that it's overly complex, and that it's been hijacked to serve as a cash cow for training organisations that take everything and give nothing back. But the fact remains that training is a major contributor to the safety of the demolition workforce. It's the thing that separates the professional from the disreputable, the good from the great. Aside from all that, good demolition training is a prerequisite for working with decent clients. Regardless of the wider economic situation, regardless of the depth or length of a downturn, training should never be seen as a luxury or as something we only do when the economic sun is shining. Demolition firms can all belong to the same trade associations. They can all have the same accreditations on their letterhead and on their website. They can all buy the same equipment. But the way in which firms train their staff is a differentiator. It's a unique selling point. It's the single thing that allows some companies to punch above their weight and to compete against the heavyweights of the sector. We push training to the back burner at our peril. Reducing or cutting training is unwise. Equally unwise, I think, is cutting investment in technology. There's an old adage that says that businesses that are standing still are actually going backwards, that they're being overtaken by those around them. And nowhere is that more evident than in the field of technology. Of course, when we usually talk about technology within the demolition sector, we tend to think about the latest excavators and attachments, emissions compliant vehicles and the like. Those things are unquestionably important, but there is more to the term technology than just equipment. There's computer technology that allows us all to work smarter, faster, and more securely. There's communication technology that allows us to keep in touch with each other, with clients, and with stakeholders. And there's the technology that allows us to protect, safeguard, and secure equipment. Telematics that monitor and track location and performance of machines and help avoid unplanned downtime. When the world returns to whatever new normal the future holds, all of this technology will be invaluable. Clients will want to deal with demolition companies that can deliver 3D animations and BIM ready documentation. They'll want to deal with demolition companies that they can contact easily and across a multitude of platforms and mediums. And they will want to deal with demolition companies with equipment that doesn't break down or cause unexpected delays. Hitting the pause button on technology investment is not a viable option. Doing so signifies a company that's content to be left behind, that's resigned to a place in the industry's slow lane. When times get tough, demolition companies are right to pull in their horns, to reduce spending, and to tighten their belts. But they also need to take care not to pull the belt so tight that they starve their business of the very oxygen it needs to survive. So that's the week over and done with. I hope you're not finding lockdown 2, son of lockdown, too tough. I'm going to be back here again on Monday night, same time, same place, until all of this goes away. We've had a comment. I'm not sure who that's going to be. It's Peter Haddock. Peter is sharing my views. You have to invest in technology. All of a sudden, clients mandate things like 3D machine control. Absolutely. If you don't have them, you don't even get to tender stage. It's food for thought and absolutely true. I do think this current lockdown and the recession that follows will give clients an opportunity to think long and hard about who they employ. And with so little to choose between some demolition firms, it will be things like technology and their commitment to training that will separate the men from the boys and those with the haves and the have-nots, basically. As I was saying, I'll be back here on Monday night. But until then, have a good weekend. Try to relax a little. I think we've all earned it. Until then, I was just about to sign off. Have a nice weekend, Bob. Yeah, good to see you here again. As I say, stay safe. Look after yourselves, your family, your friends, and your technology and your training. I will be back here on Monday. Until then, goodbye.